Tennessee has chosen to impose arbitrary caps on the number of home nursing hours that any individual can get, even if they've determined for decades that the TennCare enrollee, it's medically necessary for a TennCare enrollee to have 24/7 one-on-one nursing care. When you turn 21, you lose the right not only to get that care, but even for them to examine whether you need that care. The Americans with Disabilities Act is a civil rights law. And under civil rights law, we do not treat people as groups based on their race, their religion, or their disability. And applying hard caps without looking at the individual needs of a particular person is a violation of both the letter and the spirit of our civil rights laws in America, including the Americans with Disabilities Act. So what we've decided to do is we've filed suit under the ADA, alleging that in these two cases, for Allie Roan and Tristan Shackelford, our two plaintiffs in the case, Tennessee has created a structural bias in favor of putting people in institution. That is something that we have fought for decades to try to stop, to try to make sure that people who can be safely kept at home with their families are allowed to do so.
No one should have to be forced to put their loved one in a facility. Speaking specifically for my daughter Allison, if she doesn't have 24/7 skilled care, her life expectancy is not going to be very long.
So we are in a fight to try and get TennCare to keep her on 24/7 nursing care. If it doesn't go our way, we will probably end up putting her in some kind of a facility and she won't be in the house anymore. And that's going to break our hearts.
They told us that they wouldn't pay for help, but they would pay to put him in a nursing home. I know what it made me feel like as a mother, and it was horrible. I can only imagine what it made him feel like as a human being. Had Marvin went to a nursing home, I don't think he would have been around long. Marvin is paralyzed from the neck down. The care, the care is a big thing because it allows him to have his own life.
And when I hired a caregiver, I told him, basically my arms and legs. When TJC won the class action lawsuit and I was able to receive care in my home, it made me feel like I had my arms and legs back.
When you know that your child needs something and you know that if they don't get it, that it could cost them their life, no matter what they say to you, fight. Fight for your child, fight for yourself. Most mothers aren't going to want their children going to a nursing home. Marvin will never go as long as I'm alive.
When Binta was born, I was told that the longest she will live is 3 years. She will be 22 in July. When your child reaches 21, you are supposed to be happy, but instead you get so scared. Nursing hours are going to be cut. Having the nurses here are extremely helpful. Since I have open heart surgery, I'm not allowed to lift nothing more than 35 pounds. TennCare cut Binta's hours. After she hit 21, it was just me and Binta in the house. I had to change her and then lift her, put her on her wheelchair. And that's when I just run out of breath and my heart rate was going too fast. So I ended up calling 911 and I had to go to the hospital. Having the nurses here are very important for Binta and I both, because this is not the first time. I might look healthy, but inside my health is just going down. Sometimes I wish God could make her be able to see me, or I wish God could make her to be able to talk to me and say, Mom, this is what I want for Christmas. Or Mom, or just be able to hug me. But all these things is impossible. Yeah, I have no family. God has given me Tennessee Justice Center, and they are my family. I don't know whether I will go before her or she will go before me. God knows. I'm just hanging in here, helping her as much as possible because she's so special to me. I love her to death.
When you serve a person in your family that has this extra need, every second of every single day in your life becomes about caregiving for this person. And it's the most wonderful thing you will ever do. It's the most exhausting thing you will ever do. It is the most heartbreaking thing you will ever do. Was in the hospital with my son. It was difficult to get him to wear a nasal cannula, and we needed a way to get oxygen into him when he slept. In this unit, called a veil bed, we were able to put an oxygen tent around the outside of the bed, and so he would have had the oxygen delivered to his body while he slept that he needed. I informed a representative from TennCare that I had the pediatric psychiatrist in the room with us, the cardiologist, and the pulmonologist to talk to her and answer any questions, and she refused to speak to them. That night, I took my son home. I did what I always did. I would try to lay beside of my son and actually hold a nasal cannula under his nose to try to get extra oxygen in. At some point through the night, I fell asleep. A few hours later, I woke up and I thought, Scotty's breathing really easy. Yeah, that's nice. And all of a sudden it dawned on me, he never breathes that easy. It took a few minutes for it to sink in that he was gone. I knew that Scotty would not live a normal lifespan, but I didn't want him to die from not being able to catch his breath. And I remember the next morning, I called the insurance representative. I told her, that children are not numbers, they're people. And families are not just about dollars, they're families. And I appreciate the Tennessee Justice Center. They have allowed me the opportunity to try and make sure that other children don't have to suffer what my son suffered, and get the message out there how important it is for a family to be able to stay in their home as a family and create those memories that last forever.
But just like Allie doesn't have a voice, that we are the voice for her, Tennessee Justice Center is the voice for us.
The hardest part about having her in the hospital for 2 months is wondering if she's going to get better and wondering if she's ever going to come back home. And that's what's so hard for a mama's heart.